Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Everquest Legends video. Today we're talking about starting areas. I did one of these earlier, and it had a lot of people come and talk about where they wanted to start. So I kind of wanted to expand on that a little bit. So we'll start as far east as you can in Faydwer. So you have in Faydwer, you have the Gnomes of Akanon, you have the Dwarfs of Caladim, and you have the High Elf of Felwith, and you have the, I'm going to mess it up because people will call me out on it, but I'm going to say it anyway, the Wood Elf of Calatin. And this is actually a very good starting area. You can do 1 to 3 in the newbie area. You can go into Crushbone. After that, you get good EXP. And then if you want Unrest, which that is all good as far as being able to start. In this, I took a High Elf Mage and Enchanter, a Dwarf. I talked about it first, and I did play it first. The Dwarf, Paladin, and the Necro. And then a Half Elf Mage Warrior. And they all did really well inside of Crushbone. So all classes did a good job. Let's talk about quests. Probably the best quest lines in the starting areas with the bone chips and also the CB belts and pads. So the bone chips will give you items, and then the Crushbone belts, I'll say it that way, and pads give you the tattered armor, which anybody who's not cloth can wear. So, and you can level that up a lot if you save a lot of your Crushbone belts and turn them in. Plus, it's actually not too bad of experience. I think it's actually better than what's on the live servers right now. So, you can also get a lot of cloth armor. You can find it on the orcs, they have it. And of course the skeletons. So yeah, I think this is a great place to start your new character, but I haven't seen all of the places for classes that you normally wouldn't find there, like Shaman. So you might struggle with some of the spells if you want to get extra spells. And once you get past the Crushbone and Unrest, then you'll want to move west and start exploring in that area. So now we are going to move further west, and we're going to move into East Antonica. Well, we will do this one first because I still count this as part of it because you're right here to the Common Lands and to East Freeport. North Rose where the Ixar start. You have Guk, you have the Trolls, you have the Ogres, and then you have, I don't know how it shows here, maybe it's not in this, but the Frogs also start there. And then in the northern part of East Antonica, you still have Freeport, and then you have the Dark Elves. And then the halflings are a little bit further into Rivervale. But I count all these together because you can get pretty much to any of them fairly quickly from any of the starting locations. And they're all pretty much the same. I do like Misty Thicket as far as the level ranges that you'll find. But you'll be able to find plenty to do. Whether you're in Nariak, whether you're in Freeport, whether you're in North Row, and you have Befallen, that is a nice place to go early on. And then you also have, if I can find it real close, you have Guk. So those are two very good spots. And then once you get into past that, you're going to be into Najina, however you want to say it. I'm going to say it wrong. I'm going to get comments, but it's okay. So those are all good starting areas. Plus, then soon you'll be going into Sol A, Sol B. You might move over uh, a little bit into High Pass. So this is a great starting place, and you really don't have far to go for anything. I played an XRSK Shaman and had no issue running down to Guk, running straight into there. I didn't aggro anything. I'm sure how I ran there was part of that. But as soon as I walked in, I started making great EXP, and I started to get armor. So that's very good. Some of the quests, though, I don't think they're all that. The orc pickaxes and the death fist slash belts, they're nice, and they give you faction and coin and some items, but it's just not as consistent as the Crushbone belt or pads, or even the skeleton bone. Losing my thought. Bone chips. There we go. The skeleton bone chips. So there's not a whole lot of armor in the quest, but it can be found. You'll find plenty of cloth running around, whether it's on skeletons or any of the other people that you take on. And then in Guk you have other forms of armor as well. But probably the best thing about this area is that in the northern road, Desert of Road, just outside of East Freeport, where the Ixar start, you can find all spells. And I've seen a whole different amount of races that go in there, so you'll probably be able to go in there unless you're like way too goody two shoes or something. So let's go ahead and back out of this, and let's talk about West Antonica. So we'll talk about Kinos, and we'll talk about the humans, and we'll talk about Halas, or Halis, or however you want to say it. That's the barbarians. Starting areas are okay. Black Barrel's okay. Quests are okay, the Fangs. But getting armor just didn't seem to happen. I played my Barbarian Warrior Shaman to 10, and the best thing I had was my Snake Fang Piercers. So, and they were good. I mean, a 627 is not bad. But it's not really a warrior weapon, and I was okay with it, but I just didn't feel like I had done what I needed to do as I was going through to level 10. So armor is a little hard to get. And then there are the sewers. So there's a lot of people that play in the sewers. That sounds funny now that I say that out loud. But the sewers are a good place to be able to play. But if you don't know them, you get really messed up. And I never learned them. So that's one thing. You will have a learning curve whenever you start in Kinos and you go into the sewers. It is probably the poorest of all the starting areas. You will always end up wanting to go east. Alright, and that brings us to Odus. So in Odus, we're not sure on the Karen yet. We don't have any info. But the Erudites, whether they start in Erudin or Peniel, have decent starting areas. You can go to the Warrens, and the Warrens is a solid place. You get good armor drops, but there's not really a whole lot of quests you can do. And if you start in Peniel, let's just say it sucks. It will take you a while, just like the sewers, to get used to getting around. I played a Necro Cleric, went into Warrens, and I had a great time. It was a good time playing there, and it was fairly easy to level up, and you pretty much stay at the entrance, so you're able to run out fairly quickly, and it's not that hard. But as in everything else, you will want to go east. So basically, what I'm saying is West Antonica is probably the worst starting situation. And then you'll go to Odus would be the next. And then you tell me what you think. I mean, to me, it's like a big toss-up between Faydwer and East Antonica. Um, I think the overall arching thing that comes into being is the fact that in East Antonica, you have so many of the things that you're going to get done. Um, once you start getting up into the level range for Sol A, Sol B, for the quest, you'll end up staying on that side for a while. But Faydwer has some good plays. It has, like I said, Crushbone and Unrest. And East Antonica has Guk and Befallen. And then Najina's like right behind that too. So all a bunch of good stuff. I think really the biggest thing that is weighing on this that pushes East Antonica ahead is the fact that you can go to the Ixar camp and get any spells. You just have to be the right faction. But like I said, I saw humans, I saw dark elves, I saw ogres go in there. So you'll definitely want to check the con before you go in. But I think you can probably do it. And I think that's going to do it for this video. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you have found. I probably have people that are be like, what are you talking about? West Antonica is great. And I'm just talking about the starting, just the first 10 levels. I just felt like I had not much of anything. And I was a level 10 warrior shaman. I still felt like I was powerful, but I didn't have the weapons I wanted, didn't have any armor. And I think that's going to do it. Tell me what you think. Tell me where you're planning on starting. And maybe the next time I come into YouTube, I will actually have started a real character versus testing out all the different places, because I wanted to see what they all were about. And it's fairly simple to get to 10. It's not a hard recipe. And then at 10, of course, you pick your third. And then you want to make sure that you are the race that you want to be, because you will always be limited on your loadouts to that race and the classes that they play. And then you also want to make sure that it is the areas you want to go to. To me, those are the biggest things in the starting area. Then once you get up higher, then everybody will be pretty much in the East Antonica for a while. That's going to do it. Like I said, I don't know, 15 times now. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you all. Have a great day. I will see you in Unrest.